Ugh, packing. Am I right?
Uh-huh.
It's like the ultimate pre-trip buzzkill. You know, that whole staring at a mountain of clothes in a suitcase that suddenly seems two sizes too small situation.
Yeah.
But what if I told you it doesn't have to be that way?
Oh, tell me more.
What if packing could be, dare I say, enjoyable?
Enjoyable packing. I like the sound of that already.
Today we're diving into the art of packing light to, well, uncover the art of packing light.
Sounds like it's right up our alley.
This guide promises that ditching that checked bag might just be the ticket to a whole new level of travel freedom.
Yeah, that's a concept I can get behind. It's amazing how much lighter you feel when you're not lugging around a ton of luggage.
Right. It's like you're buying back your freedom. But it sounds like this guide is about more than just cramming everything into a smaller bag.
Oh, absolutely. It's a total mindset shift. Instead of that just in case I need it mentality, which, let's be real, we've all been guilty of.
Oh, 100%.
It's about embracing the unexpected, being open to new experiences. Because, if you really need something, chances are you can find it at your destination.
That's a really good point. I've definitely been guilty of the whole, what if the weather changes drastically 5 times in one day and then packed like 5 different jackets?
I feel seen, totally been there. But think about it, needing something on a trip can actually lead to some pretty cool experiences. You might discover a hidden gem of a local shop or have an interesting conversation while you're out and about.
Turning a potential packing mishap into an adventure. Love it. So speaking of packing essentials, this guide has an essential packing list. One item in particular caught my eye. Ready for this? Laundry detergent.
Laundry detergent. Okay, I have to admit, that one threw me for a loop at first, too.
Right. It seems a little counterintuitive. Why on earth would we pack detergent if we're all about packing light?
So, at first glance, it does seem counterproductive, right? But it's all about strategy. By packing a little bit of detergent, you can do laundry on your trip. That means you can pack way fewer clothes. You're basically swapping a mountain of clothes for a teeny tiny container of detergent.
Okay, that's pretty brilliant. Why didn't I think of that? It's all about maximizing what we do bring, right?
Exactly. And speaking of maximizing, the guide also talks about multi-use items. For example, ditch the separate towel and beach blanket and pack a sarong instead. Boom. 2 uses, 1 item.
Oh, I love that. It's all about finding those clever overlaps, choosing things that can adapt to different situations, which reminds me, the capsule wardrobe. Have you heard of this?
Have I heard of it? I practically live by it when I travel.
Okay, so tell me about it because full disclosure, when I first read about capsule wardrobes, I was a little intimidated. Like, how do you even begin to build an entire wardrobe within a wardrobe?
It might sound daunting, but I promise it's way simpler than you think. Instead of packing a bunch of random pieces, think outfits. Choose a certain number of versatile items. Think neutral colors that you can mix and match to create a whole bunch of different looks.
So say we're going on a week-long trip to, let's say, somewhere with a nice temperate climate.
Yeah.
What might a capsule wardrobe for that kind of trip look like?
All right, so for bottoms, you'd want a good pair of comfy walking shoes, maybe some stylish sneakers too, then maybe a pair of dressier shoes if you're planning on, hitting the town or whatever. And then clothes-wise, a pair of jeans, a pair of nicer pants or a skirt, and maybe a casual sundress. Just something you can dress up or down.
Got it. So that covers the like casual to slightly dressy bases.
Exactly.
And what about tops? You'd probably want a mix of short and long sleeves, right?
You got it. A few basic tees in neutral colors always work well. Then maybe a couple of blouses or button-downs, a light sweater or cardigan in case it gets chilly. Oh, and then one slightly dressier top for, again, if you're going out. And remember, you can layer these to create different looks, too.
Okay, this is making a lot more sense now.
Good. Oh, and don't underestimate the power of accessories.
Oh, good point. Accessories are key.
They can totally transform an outfit without taking up much space. A scarf, a statement necklace, maybe a hat. Those little things can really make a big difference.
And suddenly you've got a whole new look. I love that. And you know what I'm realizing? A capsule wardrobe isn't just about packing light. It's about packing smart.
100%. It's about being really intentional with your choices and making sure everything you bring can be styled in multiple ways. It's about maximizing style and functionality.
It's like, why didn't I do this sooner? Okay, so we've covered clothes, but what about the actual packing itself? I have to ask about packing cubes because I was skeptical at first, but after reading this guide, game changer. What do you think?
Packing cubes are a lifesaver. Seriously, they changed my whole packing game.
I'm intrigued. What kind do you use? I need recommendations.
I'm all about those compression zipper ones.
Eh.
You can stuff so much more in your bag and everything stays so organized.
Wait, so you're telling me no more digging through a black hole of clothes just to find one sock at the bottom of my suitcase?
Gone. It's like having these little mini drawers inside your suitcase.
Oh, I love that. I can totally see it now. Like each cube has a purpose, right?
Yes. One for tops, one for bottoms, one for like underwear and socks, you name it. And the best part, when you get to your hotel or wherever you're staying, you just pop them right into the drawers.
Genius. No more living out of a suitcase for a week.
Exactly. It's like bringing your own little portable organization system with you.
I love that. Okay, so we've covered the basics of packing light, but this guide also dives into those slightly, let's say, trickier types of trips.
Ah, yes. The tougher trips.
Exactly. Because let's be real, packing light for a relaxing beach vacation, totally doable. But what about things like business trips or adventure travel or even, family vacations with kids?
Right, because the pack light mantra can feel a tad more, shall we say, aspirational in those situations.
Exactly. So what does the guide say about tackling those kinds of packing challenges?
Well, the good news is the basic principles still apply. It's about adapting them to meet your specific needs.
I like it. So, for example, business trips. You're
Mm.
probably not going to pack your entire work wardrobe, right?
No way. This is where the capsule wardrobe really comes in handy. You want to pack things that can transition from day to night, maybe a blazer that can dress up a simple blouse for a meeting, or a pair of tailored pants that work just as well with heels for a dinner as they do with flats for, running around during the day.
So it's all about those strategic, versatile pieces.
Absolutely. And then with adventure travel, of course, you might need to pack some specific gear depending on what you're doing. But even then, there are ways to streamline. Well, for one, choosing clothes that are quick drying and multi-purpose. That way you don't need to pack as much.
Oh, that's a good one. And I bet packing cubes are clutch for those kinds of trips, too.
Oh, for sure. Especially if you're like separating muddy hiking boots from your clean clothes.
Ugh, yeah, definitely don't want those mixing. So, we've talked a lot about the practicalities of packing light, but there's one common struggle I have to bring up.
Let me guess, souvenirs.
You read my mind. Because how do you stick to this whole minimalist packing philosophy when you're in a new place and want to bring back a little piece of it?
Right. It's so easy to get caught up in the excitement of finding the perfect souvenir. But then you get back to your suitcase, and it's like, how on earth am I going to fit this in?
I've totally been there, rearranging everything, convinced I can make room for just one more thing. So what does the guide suggest? Because clearly we need help.
Well, it actually offers a really interesting perspective on souvenirs. It encourages travelers to, well, embrace experiences as souvenirs.
Experiences as souvenirs, what does that even mean?
It means instead of bringing back a suitcase full of knickknacks that'll probably end up gathering dust on a shelf somewhere, focus on the memories, the stories, the skills you learn along the way.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So instead of buying like a million little things, we should be focusing on immersing ourselves in the local culture, trying a cooking class, taking a million pictures.
Exactly. Those are the things that will really stay with you long after the trip is over.
So it's like we're collecting experiences instead of things.
Exactly. And hey, if you do find yourself drawn to a physical souvenir, the guide recommends setting a one small item rule for yourself.
I love that. It's like a little challenge. Instead of just buying something at every stop, you have to be really intentional and pick one thing that truly speaks to you.
Exactly. And I think that idea of intentionality can really apply to all aspects of packing light.
It's like we always say, quality over quantity.
Yeah.
And that applies to like our suitcases just as much as it does to, life in general.
So true. And I think that takes us back to this idea that packing light, it's not about deprivation, right? It's about liberation. It's about creating space for the things that really matter.
Love that. So for our listeners who are like ready to ditch the check bag and give this whole packing light thing a try, what would you say is the most important first step?
Honestly, it all starts with your mindset. You got to stop looking at packing as this like chore, this dreaded task on your to-do list, and instead think of it as an opportunity. It's a chance to really curate your travel experience, to decide what you want your trip to look and feel like, and then only pack the things that support that vision.
It's about being intentional.
Exactly. And it's about remembering that you don't need to pack for every single possibility. Because like we talked about, if you really need something, you can probably find it once you get there.
Okay, that's a really good reminder.
Yeah.
So shift your mindset, check. What comes next?
Get practical. Think about your trip. What are you actually going to be doing? Make a list. Prioritize versatile items that can be mixed and matched. Channel your inner capsule wardrobe guru. And don't be afraid to experiment a little with different packing techniques until you find what clicks for you.
Yes, it's all about finding what works for you. And you know what? We're here with you every step of the way.
Absolutely. We want to hear from you.
Seriously. Have you tried packing light? What are your biggest packing wins or struggles? What tips have you picked up along the way?
Yeah, share your story with us on social media.
Because at the end of the day, this is all about simplifying our approach to travel so that we can really, truly enjoy the journey, right?
100%. It's about traveling lighter, both physically and mentally, so that we can be more present, more open to new experiences, and, ultimately more connected to the world around us.
And you never know. You might just surprise yourself with what you discover along the way. And on that note, I think we've earned ourselves a little vacation. Who's with me?
Let's go pack.